Welcome back. Thanks for dropping by again. Good to see you. So in this one, it's pretty impromptu. It's going to be a bit ranty. I'll try and keep it relatively focused and relatively short for your viewing pleasure. But I wanted to get this video recorded while those feelings and thoughts were still fresh in my mind. So I've just got back from my third job. So it's a 13-hour day, a bit more with travel time. It's very much a grind, but if you've been watching this channel, you'll know that I'm grinding on purpose because I'm trying to get out of debt, improve my life, a few other things around health as well. So I'm doing that. I've chosen to have 3 jobs. I've got 2 small little cleaning jobs, and my main job is where I work for a conveyancing company. While at work today, I just realised that my soul is dead, or at the very least, it's on life support. And I've known that I've been apathetic, just blur in life for a very long time, and I always just chalked it down to depression. And I guess that it is true, but I feel like depression is the symptom, not the cause necessarily, because I feel like a lot of men are going through the same thing. They're basically on autopilot, like I am, and I want to sort of throw my thoughts in, my experience, and hopefully inspire and motivate someone. I had a wonderful comment on my last video from a gentleman who was saying that my video on how I tidied up my flat and got a few things in order and found some self-respect, how it inspired and motivated him to clean up his own flat and perhaps improve some things in different areas of his life. That's what it's all about. That's what I want this channel to be. I want to show myself improving my life and hopefully helping other people do the same. While at work today, I was just so gone. It's not a difficult job. It has its moments, but it's not a bad job. It's a good company, it's minimum wage, but life feels like such a grind. And yes, it's down to personal decisions. Yes, I've made some really bad decisions. I'm in certain situations now because it's completely my fault. A lot of things are my fault, and all of it is my responsibility. That's what I like to say. I think that's a good outlook. But I just found myself just staring into space today so many times, and I realized that I've been doing it for a long time, and I just hadn't noticed. And I didn't really think it was a bad thing, because people tend to do that, you know? You see it in films, you see it on TV, you hear people talk about it, daydreaming and all this. But I was just like mentally not there. The photocopy was going and I was just staring out the window. And it was a really nice day today. It was like the first nice day of 2025 in the UK. And it's not like I wanted to be frolicking through the fields naked. But I felt so trapped. I felt like, even though I've chosen to do this, right? It's a weird mix. I've chosen to do this, but there just doesn't seem to be a good way out. Everyone has to do these types of jobs, and some are well paid, some are not, but they all tend to be the same. And that's just what life feels like. It's just like this never-ending conveyor belt. I was staring at the window, got back to my desk, just stared at the screen. It was a relatively easy day. I had just no motivation to do anything. And then I realized this was like a gateway to how chronically lonely I am. and how much of a failure I think I am. I'm not going to get upset. I am upset, but I'm not going to cry on the video. And I've been very lonely for a long time, and it has affected my personality, almost definitely. I feel like I'm on this never-ending treadmill of failure, loneliness, living paycheck to paycheck. And yes, I'm responsible for all of it. But it seems to be such a widespread issue, and I don't know what to do. Yes, I do know what to do, but I also don't know what to do. I don't know what the issue is. I know that I'm trying to brute force my way out of this, working as many hours as possible. I know that most of my money is going to be taken, most of that extra money that I'm going to make, taxman's going to take a good amount of it. In the UK, it certainly feels like, I feel like I'm losing my country. And there's all these different avenues of attack that's just wearing me down layer by layer. Finances, health, which is my issue, but it's also a symptom. It's a coping mechanism. Binge eating is a coping mechanism. And yes, I technically have full control, but it still sucks, right? And I'm actively trying to improve it and better myself, but it's still such a mental struggle and just a mental minefield, because you never know what's buried in there. And that's what I think I've learned today, because I've known I was lonely, but I don't think I realised how lonely. I don't really have any friends. I have a really good relationship with my brother, and I do have one friend. I've not seen her for a long time. We text often, and she was, both my brother and her were very supportive in my health anxiety phase, which I'm going to make a dedicated video about in case anyone would find that helpful, which I think someone did say they would find that helpful. I don't want this video to be overly negative. I'm talking about negative things, but I do think there is a positive spin, because you have to have hope. And I think when you get to the bottom, that's when you start to change. And I'm honestly sick of coming home, and I'm going to be very honest in this video. I'm sick of coming home most nights just crying, and it's not every night, but it's a lot of nights. I've developed this weird thing where I'll sit on the sofa when I'm watching TV or something, and I'll sort of pretend there's someone next to me. So I'm not a head case. I'm quite stable, but considering the thoughts that go on here, but I would say I'm a pretty objective and self-aware person. But I have full-on conversations with myself, I suppose. I don't know if other people have this ability, but I can have the most vivid conversations that aren't real with other people. I can have full-on counselling sessions in my head. Oh, shit. Sorry, I just pressed a button on my label printer. I thought it was a light. But they're so vivid, which can be really good, but it can be really, really bad, as I discovered in my health anxiety phase. You can convince yourself of anything. I think failure as well is a massive, or the feeling of failure And it's been a theme throughout my life. I feel like I've never had money. I've never had a lot of friends. I've had girlfriends, but I didn't lose my virginity until I was 25. I hadn't even kissed or touched a girl that wasn't my mother or my grandmother in either a platonic or romantic slash sexual way until I was 25. Hadn't touched an arm, a hand, and that caused issues, absolutely. And if people are interested, I might make a video about that, going into depth of those sorts of feelings. I'm a failure in terms of I've never been able to capitalize on my education. I've got a degree. I feel like I wasted it, which was in graphic design and illustration. I feel like a failure in most ways. I can't drive, for example. Every sort of life milestone, I don't feel like I've hit. And you always hear people saying, oh, you've got your own timeline and all this. Don't worry about what they're doing over there, which I absolutely agree with. But it's difficult. And I'm just so tired, you know? Going round in circles over and over and over again, never truly learning from my mistakes. Not in the big ones, at least. Not in the ones that matter. Not the ones that actually move the needle. But I don't know what to do. I do know what to do. But I also don't know what to do. I feel frozen. I've got the plan. And I'm actioning the plan. And I've got a video this weekend. Because at the end of the month, I finally got paid from all 3 jobs. So I will do tomorrow. So we can start attacking the debt. We can start making dents in the debt. Very positive. Very positive my last video. Things are changing. But I just can't help this feeling that my soul is completely lost and I'm struggling. I'm basically struggling. I don't want kids now because I've actually had conversations with my future kids and how I'm sorry. I've had conversations with my past self. So yeah, my soul's dead, or very nearly dead. I feel like a failure, but there's hope, and things will change. I didn't mean to cry, but there you go. Take care.